All right, I think we're ready to get started. Thank you all for attending today. Some quick rules of the road before we begin. If you have any questions throughout the presentation, feel free to utilize the Q&A button at the bottom to ask questions. We will provide the recording to everyone that has registered for this event after the fact. And to get things started, our event today will be led by Colin Palmer. He is a customer success manager over here at Entytle. And Colin is responsible for some of our larger verticals of customers ranging from material handling, rotating equipment, instrumentation, and food and packaging processing. And at Entytle, his role is to work with customers to really understand their challenges and goals to help them transition to more of a proactive workflow across their install base. And that can range from anything from aftermarket, sales, service, and really utilizing data science and AI capabilities to help them drive more success. So with that being said, Colin, I'm going to hand it over to you.
All right. Thank you, Aaron. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everybody. Thank you again for coming into our mini series. So really, why do we hold these events? We have a lot of customers asking for best practices from Entytle. There's a lot of different use cases that we utilize to help a lot of our customers. So it really helps us be able to have an opportunity to share these practices as well as show what the latest and greatest use cases might come about, because we're always constantly evolving to the challenges that our customers have and being able to provide a solution for them. And it also gives some of the potential prospects an opportunity to get some insights about what it is that Entytle can really do to help their business from an install-based workflow. And really what this event's going to be specifically is about is how we are able to partner up with industrial OEMs to really enable their channel partners to rapidly go from a data access to really getting revenue by utilizing actionable information within the install base itself. And so really there's a handful of different OEMs that we work with that use channel partners to sell or as part of their go-to-market strategy. Some are 99%, some of them are a mix. And really all these customers wanted to do was to drive new equipment and aftermarket sales, be it parts and or service. Saw a lot of value from what we've done from the direct sales side and really wanted to carry it over to the channel partner side to help really create customer orchestrated interactions that are very data that can be predictable and repeatable. And so really starting out with this is how do we get install base visibility for our channel partners? And we've seen this come about in a few different ways. Is one, that some of the channel partners had a lot of information built up within the OEM because most of the equipment that they shipped was primarily drop shipped. The other way is that we were able to work with them within their data to help identify where the end equipment actually ended up being. And then there's a third part to this is having the channel partner really see value with what Entytle can do and having them be able to provide data to really build out the install base itself. And really a big topic of discussion when it came to working with the industrial OEMs and onboarding the channel partners was that they really wanted the channel partner to have access specifically to their territory. So we're able to do that. I'll show different examples of that later on in this discussion, but we can do it by geographical location, different types of industry segments, or even to the equipment that they actually sell. And so typically who's all going to be involved with this and what their role is. Most commonly what we'll see is that we have sales teams that work with this, aftermarket or product, and the roles that we typically see will be head of aftermarket. Those are typically the champions that we deal with that really want to drive this initiative, and then they'll heavily rely on either the product manager, the sales managers, regional sales managers, or really a combination of all of them to help really get the boots on the ground rolling with this, just because they're the ones that have the established relationship with the channel partners and they treat them as what their end customers would be. And so really this is a high level roadmap of how we do this from a flavor perspective. Is First, it begins with evaluating and selecting which channel partners to actually work with. Some of the companies that we work with have few, some of them have hundreds. And so it's really important for the industrial OEM that had the hundreds of channel partners to narrow it down and select a few that they wanted to work with, that they really believed would be able to drive actionability out of the platform and access to the platform itself, that really believed in the product that they sold. Then it was taking it to the next level, introducing Entytle to the channel partner with a demonstration and us providing the different types of leads that were important for the industrial OEM from a growth perspective. A lot of the times when we did have these conversations, the channel partner did see a lot of value with what Entytle could do, and some of them would open up and start providing other data as well to enhance their view of it. And then it was just all about providing ongoing support to the channel partner team. So what, like we do with all of our other customers, is we have a weekly set of cadence meetings to really understand what kind of successes that they're having, where areas of opportunities, and really it's helping evolve our playbook and helping create scalability for the channel partners within the industrial OEMs that we work with. From an execution perspective, this would be what a typical process would look like. We would work with the leadership team for the industrial OEM to set up a training with the channel partner. Typically, these were done individually per channel partner. From there, we would do an introduction to Entytle. The why and the how would be given, the different types of value propositions and the levers that could be pulled, as well as doing a demonstration itself. And really, it was all about creating excitement, about having this install-based visibility, being able to look up an account that they might not have known existed in their territory, for them to be able to call that customer and identify that they had bought in that type of equipment at some point in time, to building out different leads for them. So we would typically have a set of leads that we would go live with the customer, so that they would, or the channel partner, so that they would have something to work on, but also give them areas of opportunities to create interest that they might see that they want to hit within using Entytle. And then along the way, every one of these instances has a dedicated customer success manager like myself or Aaron, who did the introduction to the call, to help with any sort of change management. Not everybody's going to hop on board. Of course, there's going to be some resistance with it, helping with usage and adoption to really hit the numbers that they want to be hitting. We needed to come up with different instances with workflows on how we can best suit and help channel partners, be it in the application or finding other methods around that as well. And really the results, there's a lot, but the two that have stood out to us is, one, having visibility for the actual channel partner itself. Even with the OEMs that we work with, they are very excited to be able to pull up a map and see all the locations that they have and be able to filter on it to find accounts that they didn't know existed. As well as a lot of the times whenever we went live with this, we would generally get some kind of RFQ where there would be close of business within 90 days. I know one of the customers that I was working with specifically was able to generate quotes of over $110,000 within the first month, and then the prior 2 months after, it was something like 60 or 64,000 actually closed in business. So a lot of different levers that can be pulled here. So I'm going to hop into a quick demo where it's going to be a couple different images that will help paint the picture on how we really handle creating territories for the channel partners, just to help everybody get a general idea on that we can keep the install base segmented just for their eyes. And so this is what it looks like when it comes to creating a territory. On the left-hand side, you name the channel partner. I just put a generic name, South Channel Partner. And these top boxes up here can be used to do it by geographical location. If you see down here, you can do it by industry segment, or you can do it by specific account IDs. So that's how we go about building a territory. And then when it comes to actually creating a user, put their name in, and then there's a function that we can relate to channel partners, so we know exactly what it is that they're doing within the system. And then we can create roles for channel partners. So what I mean by this is, can they edit different types of information, delete information, and maybe help clean up the install base, or do we not want them to be able to have that capability? And then selecting the territory and then adding the user. And so this is pulled from our demo environment, and this is the territory that I just showed you guys here a second ago. Here's the South territory. As you can see up here at the top, it's refined by 2,300 equipment and 2,300 locations roughly. And then this would be what the view of the OEM actually sees. So they can see the entire territory. There's a territory button right here that they can actually click on to start to segment and look at individual channel partners' perspective. So if there's any type of reporting that needs to be done as well, the OEM has the capability of doing that. If you would like to learn more about any of the use cases or request a more detailed discussion, feel free to reach out to your existing CSM, or if there's any prospects on the call, feel free to write us an email at info@entytle.com. So I will stop here and open it up for questions.
Yeah, Colin, a few came through while you're going throughout the presentation, and you might have covered some of these, but maybe you can speak to them a little bit more in depth. Was there resistance from channel partners to this initiative, and how soon were you able to roll this out? So a two-part question.
Sure. I think just in general with any type of initiatives, there's going to be some type of resistance or change management that needs to be involved. Some people are going to pick up on it and get the successes quicker because they're excited about it. Some might need more help with that. And as far as rolling these out, it was definitely meeting with the principals of the actual channel partners, approaching them, seeing if this is something that they wanted to do so that they could really push the how and the why to their team to really have everybody on board and aligned with goals. And as far as the rollout, this can be done as soon as possible. We really took a playbook that we had originally to onboard a client. We just needed to cut out the implementation part and just go straight to the onboarding, adoption, and usage portion of that to get this rolled out.
Great, thanks for that. I see two more questions. The first one, I'll let you tackle this one. What was the install base for this specific customer?
Sure. We've done this with a handful of customers. We've worked with them from as low as 16,000 locations all the way up to 70,000 plus. Some of the channel partners will have 100 locations within their designated territories, up to 1,000.
Great. And one more question came in. You could probably answer this with a little bit of information you just provided. But does Entytle charge the OEM an overall project fee or some kind of per partner subscription fee?
So there's a couple different variables within this. Yes, we have done it on a per partner fee. And then there's also different types of contracts that we can sign as well that allot a certain block of channel partners that you would want to have within the billing.
Great. Brian, hopefully that answered your question. If not, feel free to ask us to clarify a little bit more. Okay, great. Last question I see here. Can you tell us a little bit about data governance and how did you restrict people to the data?
Yeah, I think I answered that when I did the demo or the product images, is that it's very important that we don't let channel partners have access to other channel partners' territories. So working with the OEM, deciding on how it is that they break it down. Is it by geographical location? Is it by an industrial industry or the municipal industry? Is it defined by a certain product scope as well?
Thanks. And apologize, Brianna, not Brian. Your name got cut off, but she had one more question. What percentage of the installed base data was coming from the OEM versus the partners?
So, I mean, for this question is the OEM definitely had all the data from the channel partners just due to the orders. It just depended on where it was located. So there would be maybe an example that, Brianna, you're one of my top channel partners and you have you've bought 1,000 assets from me, but they will go to your distribution center. And so there's just 1,000 pieces of equipment labeled underneath your name. And so that would take time to work with the channel partner to decide to figure it out. I think that's kind of what you're asking me versus other instances that there was more clarity within the install base just because we had the direct ship to addresses.
Great. And Rob, our chief growth officer, actually threw a note in there. I'm not sure if you all see it, but in other situations, the channel partner has provided data as to the end user.
Yeah.
If the OEM did not have this data. But okay, great. I don't see any other questions. I know we're kind of wrapping up on time here. Colin, do you have any last minute remarks or statements you'd like before we close it out?
No, I think I'm fine. Thank you everybody for joining the session today.
Great. Like I said, we will send over the recording to all the attendees and registered attendees at the end of this event. And if you have anything, feel free to reach out to Colin or myself, or can reach out directly to Entytle on our website. Thank you all and hope you have a wonderful evening and good night.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.